Part 1. The Invitation. The wind howled through the trees as the small town of Crestwood disappeared behind him in a haze of mist. The narrow road ahead seemed endless, leading him into the wilderness, far from any civilization. As the miles ticked by, Nathan could feel the tension building in his chest, a pressure that made his breath come faster. His tires crunched over the gravel road, the noise too loud in the dead silence of the woods around him. He had gotten the letter 3 days ago, delivered in an envelope that was old, the paper yellowed and brittle. The handwriting was careful, almost elegant. Come to Hollow Hill. It's been too long since you've seen your family. Don't you want to know the truth? The letter had no return address, but it was signed with a name he hadn't heard in years. Lydia. She was his cousin, or rather, his late cousin. She had died when they were children. A tragic accident at the very same house he was now driving toward. At the time, the family had dismissed her death as a fluke, a misstep, while playing near the edge of the cliff. But Nathan had always felt that something about it hadn't added up. It was that feeling that had brought him back to Hollow Hill, a place that had long since been abandoned after the accident. As he rounded the corner, a massive, decaying structure loomed ahead. The house was hidden among the thick trees, a hulking silhouette against the murky sky. Its windows were dark, like empty eyes staring into the soul. The front door was ajar, a sliver of light spilling out onto the overgrown path. He could feel a chill run down his spine as he parked the car. Stepping out into the damp air, he felt the weight of the place press against him. His footsteps crunched on the gravel, loud in the otherwise quiet world. He hesitated before walking up the path, the hairs on the back of his neck standing on end. He glanced around, half expecting someone or something to emerge from the trees. The house was even more imposing up close. The paint had long since peeled off, revealing rotting wood beneath. The roof was sagging in places, as if it could collapse under its own weight. A sense of decay and abandonment clung to the very walls. But despite its dilapidated state, there was a strange draw to it. It felt alive, as if it was waiting for something or someone. Nathan took a breath and stepped over the threshold. The air inside was stale and thick with dust. The wooden floors creaked under his weight, sending small echoes through the empty house. The only sound was the distant haunting wind, whistling through the cracks in the walls. His footsteps reverberated in the emptiness, reminding him just how alone he was. "Lydia," he called out, his voice too loud in the oppressive silence. No response. He walked deeper into the house, the shadows stretching long as the dying light from the windows faded. The hallway stretched ahead of him, lined with doors on either side. Each door was slightly ajar, but the rooms beyond them were dark, their contents hidden from view. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him, just out of sight, waiting. A sudden sound from upstairs froze him in place, a soft, almost inaudible creak. It came from the floor above him. His breath hitched. He hadn't seen anyone come in, and he was certain he was alone when he arrived. With hesitant steps, Nathan ascended the creaking staircase, each step groaning under his weight. The shadows seemed to grow thicker as he climbed, the air colder. When he reached the top, he saw a hallway stretching in front of him, just as silent and foreboding as the one below. But there was one door at the end of the hall that stood out, a door that was fully closed. Something about it drew him toward it, a pull he couldn't explain. His hand reached for the doorknob, and just before he turned it, he heard something, a whisper. His name. Nathan. He jerked back, heart racing. The whisper had come from the other side of the door. The air seemed to thicken, and for a moment, he almost felt the presence of someone standing just behind him. But when he turned, no one was there. He tried to shake off the unease, and with a trembling hand, twisted the doorknob. The door creaked open. Inside, the room was exactly as it had been the last time he'd seen it, when he was a child. The walls were lined with faded wallpaper, the colors once vibrant, but now dulled by time. The furniture was antique, heavy with age. A single rocking chair sat in the corner, slowly swaying as though someone had just gotten up. But no one was there. He stepped inside, feeling the coldness of the room settle in around him. The air was so thick, it almost felt like he was breathing through a blanket. His eyes scanned the room, landing on a small wooden chest at the foot of the bed. It was old, covered in dust, and yet something about it seemed important. Nathan's pulse quickened as he moved toward it. His hands trembled as he touched the lid, and when he lifted it, his breath caught. Inside the chest was a stack of old photographs. He picked them up one by one, his fingers brushing against the edges of each picture. Some were of family gatherings, but others were different. There were pictures of Lydia, pictures of her playing near the cliff, her face happy, innocent. But in the background of one, something moved. A shadow, darker than the rest, loomed behind her, too blurry to make out. In another, Lydia stood by the house, but her eyes were wrong, hollow. A sudden chill swept through him. He quickly put the photos back in the chest and slammed the lid shut. The whisper came again, louder this time. "Nathan, you shouldn't have come." If you enjoyed part 1, feel free to leave a like. If you want a part 2 of this story, let me know in the comments. Subscribe and push the notifications button for our next spook. See you soon.